Hello. Today I'm here to talk to you about open source project governance. I'm Dawn Foster. I'm part of the OSS Sustainability Lab. I'm a board member of Open UK and was previously co-chair of the CNCF Contributor Strategy Technical Advisory Group, where I was one of the leads for governance reviews. I'm also deeply involved in the Chaos Project, where I spend a lot of time thinking about open source project health and sustainability. A lot of people think governance is just extra paperwork or busy work that gets in the way of doing the real work on the project. But this isn't true of good governance, which is really about setting expectations and getting all of the various people within your community collaborating together. Ultimately, the focus of open source project governance is on the people, the roles we play, our responsibilities, how we make decisions, and what we should expect from each other as part of participating in the community. Having clear rules about how collaboration occurs, how decisions are made, and what types of contributions are in or out of scope helps community members make contributions that are likely to be accepted and embraced by the project. This helps avoid wasting maintainers' time with contributions that aren't aligned with the project. A healthy project with clear governance makes people happy and helps set your project up for future growth and long-term success. The tricky thing about governance is that it needs to be proactive. The time to work on governance is when things are going well. If you wait until there's a crisis within your community, you might not have the right processes for dealing with that crisis. And when a project is in crisis, it will be much more difficult to come to an agreement about governance. Things like having a way to remove problematic people, including maintainers, from your project is something you hope to never need. But if you do need it at some point in the future, you'll be glad that you included it before it became an issue. Open source projects usually have some form of governance, even if it's not written down. It's worth spending some time thinking about and documenting how you currently make decisions in your project. Who makes those decisions? Have you added new maintainers or even new contributors? If so, how are they selected? And who decided what access they should have? Have you documented your values, scope, or mission for your project? And do you feel like these are well understood and agreed to within your project? Do you feel like the existing process is working well? This is a good time to document what you have and reflect on what works and what could be improved about how your project is currently governed. In general, we also recommend starting with the simplest possible governance model and only moving to something more complicated when your project evolves to the point where that complexity is needed, because otherwise you create more overhead and extra work when that time would be better spent on project development rather than governance processes. But you should also be thinking about what works and what doesn't, because your governance model should not stay the same throughout the life of your project. Many projects start with what's often called a maintainer council model, which is about the simplest form of governance where maintainers make the decisions in the project, usually by consensus, but there's often a provision for calling for a vote in certain cases, like removing maintainers. As your projects become larger and more complex, you might need to move to other governance models. Or if what you have now isn't working for some reason, then you should think about how to evolve your governance processes to work better for you. Every project is different, and there is no one-size-fits-all governance model. Building sustainable open source projects over the long term can be a challenge, and this work never stops during the life of an open source project. Being proactive about improving sustainability, including defining good governance practices now, before you have a crisis, can help make our software more successful, sustainable, and reliable for all of us.